right, so let's take a look at updating in Mongo. So update allows you to modify data that's already there. The update command takes two arguments. The first argument is just like the find operator, right? The first one is a where clause, right, that tells you which record do you want to update, which one you want modified. So only the records that match this criteria will be modified. All of them. Right? So if you have multiple records that match this same criteria, you will update all the records, right? So be careful, just like in MySQL. The second argument is what you mean to modify, what you want to update, okay? Now there's two flavors of this. The first flavor is that you provide a JSON object that you want to use to replace the old object, right? Meaning I want to throw away whatever is already in there, right, and I want to replace it with this brand new object. So careful, right? Here it might look like you're updating the seats, right, from 23 down to 22 because somebody just registered. What you're doing is that you're throwing away everything and you're only keeping seats 22. All right, so be careful. All right, what you might mean to say is that you want to modify an existing field. Okay, and so instead we use the operator set, $set. Right, and $set allows you to modify multiple fields at the same time, of which you can say I want to change seats to 22. The name of the section to something else, right? When the date that it starts, the date that it ends, whatever, right? You can change many fields. You can provide a new object in here. Make sense? Right? So we're going to be probably sticking to the second version of this update. So be careful not to misuse this. Right? So for instance, if we might want to change the seats of the section that is called 4, right? So we might want to do db.sections.update. So we're going to update the section whose name is 04. Okay, so that's my where clause, right? And my update is I want to set, right? And then the seats, I wanted to change it to, instead of 45, somebody just registered, so I'll decrement the value of the seats to 44. It comes back saying that yes, one record matched, right, and one record was updated. Right? So if we retrieve that again, notice that indeed the seats went down to 44. Okay. Unfortunately, something that you typically can do normally in a relational database, it's not supported in Mongo, where you can't reference your old record, your old field. Right? So for instance, you can't do seats -1, okay, which you normally can do in a relational database. Right? You can say, well, my field is whatever field it was minus whatever. Right? Unfortunately, you can't do that. You would have to first read the value and then use it in a subsequent query. Okay, so some limitations. Also, another limitation in the limit and the skip. They have limitations on really, really huge data sets. Right, I'm talking about gigabytes, terabytes. Right, so first, limit and skip work fine for the first million records. Right, but then when you start skipping the 2 million records or 3 million records, it takes a long time. It actually reads through the entire list and then puts the cursor in the location. So careful if you're dealing with huge amounts of data. There might be better ways of manipulating that. So there's also remove. We looked at remove already, right? Where you can remove records for a particular criteria here. We're removing the section whose name is 2. There's quite a few other commands. We're not going to hold you to these. Just so you are aware that they exist. There's insert one, insert many, so you can provide an entire collection if you're like importing data or you're copying data from other schemas. Then you can do inserts from old schemas into new schemas. There's also update one, update many. You can do bulk updates on large amounts of data, or just have one. And same thing with delete. You can delete just one, or bulk deletes and drop content.